Hey folks, how you doing? So, in the last video we took an initial look at this early Dragon 32 that I got from eBay. Did a little bit of testing on the power board just to make sure we had all our power rails present, and it all seemed to work okay. So we tried to test the machine itself. So we powered it up and, well, we got a terrible fuzzy picture with sort of a yellow screen. It didn't look right at all. So yeah, I was hoping in this video we'd spend a little bit more time on it and hopefully we'll get it to work. So off camera I couldn't resist. I've been tinkering with it. Thought I'd have a little look at it and see if I could identify a fault, and I think I've found one. So with the power board powered up and disconnected, I'm getting all me power rails. So I've got me 5 volt, me minus 5 volt, me 12 volt, all fine. Plug it into the machine and I'm losing the 12 volt rail. So there's got to be a fault on the main board somewhere. So anyway, I did a continuity check between ground and 12 volts and I've got a dead short. So I'm suspecting it's probably one of the RAM chips that's failed and gone short circuit. So with this being an early Dragon 32, it's got this little daughter board which was used just to bump the memory up, because I think the initial design of these was to be a 16K machine. The Spectrum came out and suddenly they needed to compete with that, so they made this little modification board to bump it up to 32K. Anyway, the beauty of that is when they put this in, they've used socketed chips for the RAM. So I thought, well, that'll make it a lot easier. I'll just pull the RAM chips out one by one, which I did. I'll test them individually, and I've put them into my 4116 chip tester, and they've all come back as good. And I thought, as I pull the chips out, I'll just check for continuity, and when the fault disappears, I know I've got the right chip. Well, I've pulled out 10 chips, all the socketed ones. The fault is still there. So we need to dig a little bit deeper. Now, I think I'm almost certain that if I take this daughter board off, or piggyback board, whatever you want to call it, underneath there we're going to have more RAM chips. So we're going to have to break out the soldering iron. So I think the first job is take this board off, have a look at the chips underneath. Presumably they're RAM chips as well, and we'll have to start pulling those out as well. I don't think they're socketed. I think they're directly soldered to the board, which is fine, I suppose. Yeah, let's do that. Let's warm up the soldering iron, get this board off, pull the chips out and see if we can get this short circuit fault to disappear. Hi there, it's me from the future. I'm just editing this video together and I just want to pause it here and say I'm an idiot and I did a load of work at this point that I really didn't need to. I assumed that the short circuit was due to the RAM chips failing, or one of the RAM chips failing. It absolutely wasn't. I didn't know this at the time, so what you're about to see is a load of work that really didn't need to be done. And I only bring this up because if somebody is watching this and they have the same fault and they're trying to fault find and using this as a reference, God help you, I don't want you to fall into the same trap. So the actual short circuit was caused by a failed tantalum capacitor. On this board it was labelled C11. Once I pulled that, it was fine. But yeah, enjoy the next few minutes of me struggling down completely the wrong path. Alright, first things first, let's get the board out. So we'll start with the keyboard. I'm kind of hoping this will just unplug. It's got a ribbon cable, but I don't know if that cable's soldered in. It looks like a plug. Yeah. Yeah. My God, there's some dirt in there. Gently does it. Okay, keyboard's away. And main board. So let's see what happens if we take these out. That on them. That's loose. Oh yeah, there we go. She's free. Right, well, it's out. I hope you don't mind I did that off camera. I just needed to get in a little bit close, and I wanted to be really, really careful as well with what I was doing. It took a little bit of fiddling, a little bit of hot air as well, but it's out, and I did it without any damage, so which is the most important thing. So yeah, we do have a few extra RAM chips. I'm going to pull those. We'll test them. We'll see once they've been removed if our 12 volt short circuit goes away. We'll get rid of whatever the hell that is. Fluff. Hopefully that's not been causing the short circuit, I don't know. Yeah, okay. I'll buzz these out. I'll bring you back when they're out and we'll test them, I suppose. Right, I've found my fault. And here is a lesson to, you know, check for the bleeding obvious before you start doing complicated stuff. So daughter board's off. I've pulled some of the RAM chips. I've still got 3 to go. But then I noticed next to them, if it'll focus, this tantalum, which has gone completely short circuit and physically exploded, and that was sitting across the 12 volt rail, and that was causing me short. I've taken that out and the short's gone away, so I'm going to replace that with an electrolytic because I don't have a tantalum of this value. It'll be fine. I'm also going to go ahead while I'm here, and I've got the daughter board off, sorry, piggyback board. I'm going to pull these remaining 3 RAM chips as well. I'm going to put them in the tester and check them out, because if they're faulty, if they've been damaged by that lack of 12 volt rail, I want to know about it now before I put everything back together. Still find there's a fault and have to take everything apart again, so it makes sense just to pull these remaining chips while I'm here, run them through the tester, put them all back together, replace that capacitor, and then we'll power it up and we'll just see what we get. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to desolder these off camera, we'll run through the tester, and yeah, I'll bring you back when that's done. So where are we up to? I've pulled the rest of the RAM chips out and I've fitted chip sockets in, just in case we do have any problems further down the road. It makes swapping out the RAM a lot easier. The blown tantalum, I've replaced it with an electrolytic, so that's all been fitted, and the short on the 12 volt line is now gone. So we've definitely found and fixed a fault. And for all of those saying, oh well, you can't really replace a tantalum with electrolytic, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Probably. Yeah, so I really, if I'd been paying attention in the first place and spotted the obviously blown capacitor, I probably didn't need to take this whole piggyback board off in the first place. But now that I have done that and I'd removed half the chips, it made sense to remove the rest of them and make sure that they're all working, because with a missing 12 volt line, you don't know how long it's been plugged in for with the fault present, and it could have damaged the chips. So let's test them now before we put the whole thing back together, and then we're not faffing about doing a load more work later if one of them's faulty. Right, I've already tested the top 10 that were on the piggyback board, so it's just the remaining chips here that I need to look at. So do you know what I've done? I'm an idiot, and just going back to a little quick editorial slip in here. Not only was I stupid enough not to notice that blown capacitor, I'm also stupid enough to solder in chip holders where I don't need them, because that's where the daughter board plugs in. So yeah, I'm a complete idiot. Right, stupid error corrected on the board. Let's test these RAM chips and see if these survived or not. Where's my glasses gone? Right, make sure I get them the right way round, otherwise I'll cause a problem. There's 6 of them to go through, because I've tested the others the other day that were sitting on the piggyback board. Let's see what we get. Well, it's not gone to an instant fail, so that's always a good sign. Come on. Yeah. I suppose if I find a faulty one, I could replace it with a 4.16 RAM chip. I think that'll be compatible. But hopefully they're all okay. So that first one's good. Second one, good so far. Okay, this might take a while. I'm just going to zip through. I'll check the rest of the chips, and if they all come back as correct, I'll let you know, and then we'll refit them into the board, and then I suppose we can test it. Right, all the chips have come back as passing the test, so I'm just going to refit them now. Pop them all back in to the chip holders, put the piggyback board back on, and then, in theory, it can go back in the case and we can test it and see if it actually works and see if we've cured our problem or not. So, yeah, let me again, I'll just do that off camera because my eyesight is shocking, and if I try to do things round the camera, I'm going to break something. So that's all I'm going to do, is refit the chips, refit the daughter board, put it back in the case. We'll see what happens. Right, so just to recap, piggyback board's back in, all the chips are back in. It's loosely put back into the case, the power connector is connected. The power is on. I haven't switched the main power switch on yet, but the transformer's plugged in. The TV is connected. Well, let's see what we get. And contact. And okie dokie, that's better? Maybe? Not really? I have no idea why it's doing that. I mean, I'd normally say that looks like a RAM issue, but we've tested all that. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean the RAM's okay, but oh, I don't know. Disappointing. Let's try the reset. See if that. Reset is not doing a lot. Oh, now the relay's going crackers. Who knows? Okay, I'm going to have a little bit of a think about this. I'll bring you back when I've got a bit of an update. And progress has been made. It seems to be booting up correctly now. What did I do? Yeah, I had to borrow the CPU out of my other one. So it's got a dead CPU. I've temporarily borrowed it out of my other Dragon. And it seems to boot just fine to the prompt now. And I haven't tested it any further than that. But there might be more faults, who knows. But I think that was it. It seems to be okay now. So yeah, more work to do. I'll have to test it with the keyboard. Well, I'll have to order a processor for it, presuming I can get one. I don't know. I've never looked into purchasing one of these before. Anyway, yes, I'll order a new CPU for it if I can. Test it with the keyboard. Test it with some software. Make sure it runs games okay. What else? I'll probably go through and swap out all the electrolytic capacitors too. Regarding the tantalums that are still on the board, you see, they have a habit of just like randomly committing suicide and taking out other components, don't the old tantalum capacitors? So maybe I'll change those out as well. I could just put electrolytics in. It might be the safer option. Yeah, I'll possibly do that as well. Then there's the case cleanup, the computer cleanup, because it's absolutely disgusting, the state of this thing. But yeah, progress. I mean, we've got it working to a prompt. So yeah, I think I'm going to order some parts. Mainly capacitors, processor, presuming I can get one. And I'll bring you back for a third and probably final video on this, but for now I think that's enough progress. I'm quite pleased that we've got some sort of output, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.